Coach, thank you so much for the time today, and we're sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Can you tell us the first time you ever met Coach Knight? How old were you?
Yeah, I went to his camp as a third grader. I'm not sure if I met him before that. My dad was coaching at Martinsville High School, which was just 15 minutes up the road. So I might have met him, probably did meet him because Dad took me to practices and games in Indiana and those things. But third grade, I started going to camp, and I went to camp from third grade all the way through 12th grade. I still went to his camp even after committing to Indiana. So he was just somebody at a very early age. I grew up in that era where he had just come to Indiana, and within a year's time, he's going to the Final Four, and he just started changing everything in our state when it came to motion offense and man-to-man defense. And I was just a young boy at the time, and I just wanted to be around that.
So did you not even consider other schools? Was it Indiana your whole life? You knew?
Oh, that's the only thing. Growing up, it's Indiana, so there's blizzards, there's snowstorms. I was the first one to get on the driveway and get cleaned up and get the net unfrozen, and all those workouts were one to try to be good enough to play for my dad in high school, and the second goal and dream was to be good enough that Coach Knight thought I could play. And, that's the irony behind it all. I was all 6'1", $145, 50. So, you appreciate the gamble that he took. But yeah, once I'll never forget Dad pulling me from the lunchroom when Coach called that, offer a scholarship. And Dad looked at me and he said, hey, what do you want me to tell him? And I said, I think you know that answer. And he goes, yeah, I told him.
Steve Alford, good enough to join us here as we reminisce about the life of Bobby Knight, who passed away last night. Steve Alford coaching the Nevada Wolfpack. And, the fact that you became a coach, Steve, is even a testament to your father, obviously, and then to Coach Knight. Why do you think that, Coach Knight didn't seem like the easiest person to get along with, and that might be an understatement. What about your personality meshed with him so well?
Well, I think the thing I learned a lot under Dad was the ability to compete, the ability to prepare myself, trying to improve every day, having a self-discipline. I think anybody that I changed my game from my freshman year where I averaged 1 point and shot 69% at the line. I really dove into Dad helped change my shot and change my workout regimen. And I think those things were all about Coach Knight, because I think Coach Knight was at a whole different level, obviously, than mine. But when I got to Indiana, I knew I was playing for a guy that nobody prepared a team any better. Nobody had more self-discipline and team discipline. Nobody, worked harder to proving his team and players daily. He taught me and others the value of competing on every possession, no matter what drill it was. And then ultimately, I thought Coach was the ultimate winner. And those were all traits that meant a great deal to me. And I knew that if I wanted to be successful, I didn't have the gifts of athleticism or size or strength. And those were traits I needed to have.
I saw some interviews last night where Coach Knight said that he would sometimes not pick on, but he would criticize the best players on the team to send a message to the rest of the team. Did you ever feel like he was kind of coming after you even when you were the star of the team? And did you know what he was trying to achieve by doing that?
Oh, there's no question. I was kicked out of practice, I think, 7 times in my Indiana career. And, I think some of them were definitely warranted. And then there were, I think, things where, I had getting a lot of attention and those type of things. And it was not only to send a message to me, but it was to send a message to my teammates that, hey, this might be the guy getting all the attention. This might be the guy that's doing this or that. But he's no different than anybody. And I think I learned so much under Coach about the value of team, what a teammate was about, honestly going about things and how you compete. And with Coach, you could never take things personal. You had to understand what he was saying. And when you understand what he was saying, I think that's when you grew. And I had my greatest growth during that time. And he really helped me, I think, move from one game to the next. And I think I had a fairly consistent career. And a lot of that, the majority of that had to do with how Coach coached me.
Coach, we only have about a minute left. Sorry, but we hear this about the hard coaches, Belichick, Parcells. When you get them behind closed doors, they're different people. There's a lighter side to them. Can you tell us maybe a story or quick story or an anecdote about the lighter side of Bobby Knight?
Yeah, I was very fortunate that when I was coaching at different spots that I've been able to coach at, and coaches always allow me to come into film rooms. And when I was at New Mexico, I went to Texas Tech 2 or 3 times a year just to sit in film rooms. And I can remember as a player, that was the last thing you wanted to do was be in a dark film room with Coach. You knew that it wasn't going to be pretty, so it was good to be on the other side and be in the coaching profession. But I can remember one particular day in Lubbock, he just looked at me, he goes, we can talk basketball and we can watch this film right here, or we can go shoot some birds and talk basketball then. And he loved to hunt. I'll never forget, because I'm not a guy that had any usage of any kind of gun at all or any kind of hunting mentality. And I'm sitting on a 10-gallon bucket inside a fence talking basketball with Coach, and all of a sudden he just popped up and started shooting birds. It's a different experience, but just an incredible man, and highly successful, but even more influential.
Coach, we can't tell you how much we appreciate this. Again, we are so sorry for your loss, and keeping you in our thoughts today. And thank you again for the time.
Thank you so much.